Hey guys, I'm Beck here at Sassy Pigeon HQ and welcome to my second YouTube video. In this video, I'll be setting up the month of October in my bullet journal, and this month I'll be using the Magical Forest monthly kit from Planning with Kay. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you head to planningwithkay.com to check out all her incredible sticker range. I'm also a Patreon member of Kayla's, which allows me to access to the digital files of her sticker kits, and I've printed some of my own here, making a couple larger for this setup. I've also printed and cut some headers of my own in a couple different sizes to see what works best as this month comes together. So let's get into it. I thought, what better way is there to start this month than with a pile of frogs? So I've put that big sticker in here with an October header, and this page is done. Simple, easy and quick. Moving right along with my monthly overview spread, I always roll with a standard calendar spread of some kind, and this month each day is getting a box that is 5x5 grid spaces. This is a scribbled dot journal from Amazon with a 5mm grid and is A5, although I must be using some wrong camera settings because the shape of the page appears longer than it is. Might get it right next time. Let me know if you have any tips. Planning with Kay orders always come with a freebie sheet, so I'm going to use these days of the week across the top of the calendar because they fit perfectly and I love the colour. Once again, I'm also using my tweezers to lay these stickers in because I find it much easier to get the stickers exactly where I want them when my hands aren't in the way. Time for a header now, so I'm going in with this mushroom and gnome header. I really love the splash of colour that it adds to the top, and then one more of my pre-made headers on the side there just to finish this off. If you bullet journal, I'd love to know, do you always use a calendar spread, and do you use a traditional calendar spread like this one, or do you go with something a bit more different like a round one or a linear calendar? Now I'm just using the number circles that came with the kit to date my calendar. As you can see, now I have a lot of space down the right hand side and it's time to fill that all in. So I'm going to use this really beautiful monthly overview header sticker, question mark, down the side, and then I'm going to add some extra decoration, like another pile of frogs, because who doesn't need more piles of frogs in their life, right? These super cute little gnomes are going to be my gatekeepers for the lists of events and tasks for the month. I really love them. I think they should have names, maybe Brian and... who are you? You're an Alistair. Brian and Alistair are going to be the gatekeepers for my events and tasks for the month. I like to have these lists separated so I can see what is coming up and what I need to really focus on. And of course, organise gift-wise, etc. for the month. Space down the bottom, I'm putting in the reminder, find magic in all the little things. The layout I had originally printed this sticker in didn't fit in this space, so I've cut it down and I'm arranging it as best I can in this space. I love this reminder. I'm a huge believer in finding the little wins and being content with life, and being a magical theme, obviously it fits perfectly. Once I've got it laid in there, I'm going to throw in some extra decoration with some mushrooms, leaves, unicorns and stars. This is about the point where I start getting harassed by my children, and you'll enjoy their photobombing just shortly. I'm surprised they left me alone up until that point, to be honest. Anywho, back to the spread. I've finished putting the decoration now, and I'm just going to do one final thing at the top in this little leftover space that was bothering me. I'm going to put in a box for my monthly focus. I usually have a monthly focus. Sometimes I just leave that on my weekly spreads, but given that I had this little space here, I thought I'll just throw it in. So I use a little sticker that I printed out before with a header and a mushroom to decorate. And then this spread is done. Okay bitches, this is a new spread for me, a productivity tracker. I'm not rolling with the usual habit tracker this month, and instead trying something new, and I'm so excited. This design was originally created by the Booster Journal, but I first saw it used by Jashii Corrin. Both these creators go into much more depth about the use and function, so check out the links below for more info. As a basic rundown though, I'm ruling up a grid of 1cm squares. Each day of the month will get an entire row, and in each day you draw icons to represent the productive tasks you've done that day. You'll also notice I have a little Dutch door in the middle, and that is a double-sided flap of where I'm going to put the icons and what they represent, so I know what I'm drawing and what kind of category the tasks I've done are in. The reason I'm super excited to use this tracker is because instead of using a habit tracker where you mark off specific tasks each day if you've done them, in this tracker you're marking all the things that you have actually done. So rather than having a habit tracker that is potentially missing a whole lot of marks and making you feel like shit, like you are failing and not achieving anything, this tracker allows you to show everything you have achieved because each day is not set in stone like a habit tracker. It's fluid. And it helps you find those little wins. Another point of beauty for this tracker is you can categorize your productive tasks and see if you are out of balance in a sense. So, if you do nothing but work and chores, you'll very clearly be able to see you aren't making time for self-care, hobbies and family time, for example, making it easier to identify why you might feel burnt out or a little lost. I've used 2 of the header stickers across the top from the Planning with Kay Magical Forest kit, and I've also thrown in the productivity tracker headers that I created myself. I'd love to know if any of you have used a productivity tracker like this one and how you found it. Did you enjoy it? Did it work for you, or do you prefer a traditional habit tracker? The spread does take a little bit of pre-planning. You need to identify what you want to include and which easy little icons you want to represent those tasks. I found it really handy to refer back to Jashii Corrin's video and the Booster Journal's video to get ideas on what things I wanted to track. After I made my list, I designated them each to a category and then assigned a colour to that category. So as I draw in the icons, I can include that colour somewhere in the box and I can easily see what category those tasks belong to. I've included a work category, which is for my part-time job and my Sassy Pigeon HQ, YouTube, Etsy and Instagram. I've included a chores category, which is pretty much mum life, running errands, decluttering, making lunches, dishwasher, blah blah blah, boring stuff. I have a bit of a social category, so time with my husband and my children, socialising with friends and walking the dog. I have a self-care section, so exercising, washing my hair, vitamins, teeth, bullet journaling and resting. And then I have 3 spaces at the end which are empty. So I'll see how I go through the month, and if I need to add extra things in there, I've got a chance to do that. And I can tell you now, I've already used one of those squares for YouTube editing, which is what I'm doing right now, and I want to be able to track that. Jokes. So let me know what you think. I'm really excited. We'll see how it all goes. I just wanted to quickly mention that also in the original design, the last few columns are designated to planning your day. I haven't bothered with that, so I can actually fit more in on each day. But if I did wanted to pre-plan some tasks, I would just lead pencil them in, and then if I achieve them, I'd draw those icons and colour in the box. You know what I mean? Cool? We cool? Cool. Across this spread, I'm going to be setting up 2 weeklies. In this first week, each day is going to get a box that is 15 spaces across by 5.25-ish spaces down. The opposite page is going to be a mirror image of the page I'm working on now, so the measurements will be the same. These Days of the Week stickers also come from the Magical Forest monthly kit from Planning with Kay. I'm going to use mushrooms down the left hand side, and the days on the right hand side are going to have leaves. After the days of the weeks, I'll be going with some numbered circle stickers from an Etsy store called Stick with Kate. I've made a few orders from there. They're a great shop, great quality, and I've been really happy. I'll link the shop in the description down below. This central space is going to include a spot for dinner planning for the fortnight, as well as my top 3 priorities and a running to-do list. I'm really happy with the stickers I've used in this space, but I'm not so in love with my choice of yellow scribble with black pen over the top. Although, I'm way too lazy to try and fix things like this, and often when I try to fix something, I just make it worse. So I move on with life. on to the last spread for the month now, and this is another fortnight setup. The top is going to mirror the bottom. Each day is getting a space that is 8 grid spaces by 16 grid spaces, and 3 of those spaces are divided from the main portion of the day. Not 100% what I'm going to use that space for yet, but it will most likely be dinner for that day. The daily headers for these spreads have come from the Patreon digital printables that I printed off and cut before this setup. I'm using the dark blue ones for the first week and the purple ones for the second week. I'm also leaving a gap above the day of the week, and that's where I will put the dates. I couldn't resist for this spread but putting in more of the gnomes. Super cute. These guys are cousins of Brian and Alistair. This is Patricia and Clifford, and I hope you make them feel welcome. Patricia is in charge of the task list for this fortnight, and Clifford is in charge of the fortnight's focus. I thought they were looking a little bit plain, so I decided to put some of this faux washi tape underneath them. Really happy with this decision. I think it brings it all together with a splash of colour, and with the header on top of it, it looks really cute. You may or may not have worked it out by now that I'm not a very serious person, so if I'm annoying you, sorry, not sorry. But seriously, if you have made it this far through the video, thank you so much. You're a champion, and I appreciate you. Just going in now with some coloured checkbox circle things, which also come from Planning with Kay, and they are going to be what I list my tasks with. And then I'm going to fill this up with some more decoration. And just like that, we've finished the setup for the month. At the end of this page, I'll have a couple of spare pages for memories for the month, where I'll print out photos and kind of scrapbook that in before I head into the month of November. I cannot thank you enough if you've made it this far with me. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Check out the links below to all the creators and Etsy stores I previously mentioned, including my own Etsy store and Instagram. So share the love, guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!